you ever wondered how to enjoy the last days of summer and wished there was a way to slow down time so you could savor every last golden drop that was left? Well, my friend, I'm glad you're here and you're in the right place because I've cracked the code. I'm a bigger family mama to 6. I have a farm, I homeschool, and I work part-time. But this year I have figured out a sneaky secret and I'm going to share it with you today. It's the busiest time of year here at our mountain homestead, with homeschooling starting back up and harvest in full swing. Summer is ending and fall is fastly approaching. Although I adore fall, I really wish there was a rule that autumn decor and advertisements had to wait until at least the first week of fall. How about you? Somehow, seeing pumpkin everything in August just makes me kind of sad and makes me want to hold on a little tighter to the last warm summer evenings even more. I love summertime. The long golden evenings, the hum of bees drifting lazily over the garden, the way the air smells like ripe tomatoes, fresh picked produce, and freedom. It's one of my very favorite seasons, always has been, maybe because it holds so much life, so much light and abundance. Out here on our rustic mountain homestead, tucked deep in the woods, summer feels especially sweet. The garden is bursting, the kitchen is overflowing with beautiful canned jars of food, and the forest is alive with birdsong. And even though the days are growing shorter now, there's still enough warmth and glow to make each evening feel like such a precious gift.
Sit. Don't love you. But look at me.
The one bittersweet thing about this time of year that I have mixed feelings about is the workload. I love the abundance, but it can be a little exhausting at times. And when you think about taking on the task of creating moments to enjoy, it almost feels like just one more thing to do. At least, that's how it used to be, until I figured out these 3 things. I promise 3 tips for enjoying late summer. The first one is to spend time outdoors. Even just a few minutes in your garden or on your porch can help you soak up the last warmth and light of the season. This year, our family decided to create something new. A special outdoor gathering place. We did 2 actually. One's for camping and one is for gatherings. We worked together to set up this space for gatherings, stringing up lights across the tent, arranging a cozy spot complete with tables, and the grill, of course, where we could celebrate the late summer evenings together. It's simple, rustic, but to us it's beautiful. And it's quickly become a space that draws everyone outside. Even though it's new, this gathering spot for family and friends has already brought so much joy and laughter, and we hope it becomes a lasting family tradition. Number 2, host a simple outdoor gathering. Invite family or friends for a casual evening under twinkle lights or around a fire pit. Inviting family or friends for a casual evening under the twinkle lights might sound overwhelming, especially if you are like us and you're starting back to school or homeschool and you've got the garden, farm, but I did find a way to make it super simple. There is no fancy setup required. To make hosting easy and possible for our family, I found the best way to do it is to do potlucks, where everyone brings their own hot dogs or pre-made burgers and drinks, plus a side, and I simply supply the condiments, as well as food for our family. This simple method makes it possible to host even on an afternoon after a morning of gardening, canning, and work. Tip number 3, and here's where we're going to get into some cooking and some meal ideas. Savor seasonal foods. Eat fresh produce from your garden or local markets and take the time to enjoy meals outside whenever possible. Here are just a few of our favorite easy late summer dinners. The first one is, of course, burgers, but these aren't just any old burger. These come with a very, very fun twist. These are my Cumin and Feta burgers. They're hands down my favorite burger. For our family, I've got about 6 pounds of hamburger meat here, and I'm going to use 6 tablespoons of salt and around 5 tablespoons of cumin. Now you could do more or less cumin depending on your preferences. You can mix in the feta cheese if you like, right into the hamburger meat. Sometimes I like to do that, but this time I decided I would just leave the feta to put on the burger as a garnish after it was done cooking. These are super easy to make, and one of the things that I love about them is that I get to use all those fresh garden tomatoes on these burgers and the fresh garden lettuce. We also have onions already. Did you know that when you mix your meat by hand, it improves the texture of the actual hamburger and makes it less tough? For this amount of hamburger, I did put in about 3 farm fresh eggs. Everything else about these burgers is normal. Just grill as usual and serve up with the same garnishes you would normally put on. Bonus points for jalapenos though. They seem to really kick this up a notch. Next on the menu is, of course, garden summery pizzas with garden fresh tomatoes, basil, and whatever other toppings you would like. I highly recommend soft mozzarella cheese, the kind that you get in the long tube, not the kind you have to grate. However, another wonderful twist for summery pizzas is feta cheese. Another fun summery combo is a cream cheese pizza topped with bacon, sausage, basil, and balsamic vinegar. That's my personal favorite. This is probably the #1 requested dish in our home every single summer by most of the family. And bruschetta.
Bruschetta?
You like bruschetta?
Yeah.
I am not sure anything joyfully shouts summertime quite as much as a garden fresh bruschetta with tomatoes straight from the garden, topped with basil. Every year as the tomatoes start to get ready to ripen, the requests start pouring in. Bruschetta, when are we going to have bruschetta? And it really couldn't be easier to make. You just mix tomatoes, diced up onions, basil, olive oil. You can do some sweetener too if your tomatoes don't quite have the sweetness that you would like. You can add some honey or a little bit of sugar. We like to add honey, of course. You'll want to get just the right amount of salt. So definitely taste this as you go, and everybody's tastes are going to be a little different with this. We like to drizzle a little bit of balsamic vinegar over the top. You can add balsamic vinegar straight to the tomatoes here, or you can do a balsamic glaze. Lately, we have started using balsamic glaze, and we like it a little bit better. We like to serve ours with, of course, our homemade sourdough bread.
Changing fast.
In most of the US, peaches are just coming to an end, but you might be able to find just a few left, and if you can, I highly recommend you make this dish. I have this one on the blog. I also did a video over at Mountain Mama's Home Kitchen, my other channel, featuring an entire meal with this recipe, and it couldn't be much easier. It's a very fast, very easy dish to throw together, but it packs so much flavor. Crispy sage, fried in butter, over warm peaches and honey chicken, new potatoes, and sauteed green beans with shallots. I'll put the video in the cards and share the link below. Hands down, my favorite summertime treat is fried zucchini. I do love fried okra as well, and of course fried eggplant, but fried zucchini, there's something special about it, and it is my number one favorite summertime treat. There's just something so hearty and delicious and filling and comforting about this dish. I used to make this with cornmeal and flour, but since my oldest son can't really have corn, I started making it with gluten-free flour, and it is, of course, just as good. But today I'm using sorghum flour, and it turned out wonderfully. A little tip I have is to salt the egg that you're dipping the zucchini into. And instead of doing each individual little piece, just put all of the zucchini in the bowl with the egg and mix it all together at the same time. It goes much faster that way. Also, when you're breading your zucchini, this is my trick. I put it in a container like this and just shake it. Makes it much faster, much easier. And a third trick is to get it all breaded and laid out on something like this. This is just a bread rack. This makes it so that the flour sticks to it and has more time to stick to it, and the result is a better breading. Also is nice, makes it much faster when you go to fry it all up at the same time. About a month ago, I planted a row of summer heat tolerant Vivian romaine lettuce. It does much better in the summer heat than most other lettuces. So I have a whole row. My daughter's gonna make some Caesar salad from my blog. My Caesar salad is one of my family's very favorite salads that we make. I will share the other one in just a moment. Here I have a whole tray of bacon for one of the salads, and these are my homemade croutons for the other salad, the Caesar salad. This is my number one favorite salad, and it is definitely a crowd pleaser. The other salad is our other favorite. We actually have this as a meal on the really hot summer evenings when we just don't feel like eating a whole lot, but we need something semi-filling. This is very filling, actually. This is my Mediterranean cabbage salad. It's just cabbage, cheese, lots of bacon, olives, and my creamy Italian dressing. All of this can be found on my website. I want to show you an olive slicing trick though. Well, I've got you here. You want a couple lids that have lips just like this, and it's super simple. You just put your olives onto them, put one lid on top of the other lid, and run a knife through the center, and voila, you have sliced olives. All right, before I go, I thought that it would be fun to give you a harvest update. These are some of the good eats we are harvesting up and preserving for the winter ahead. Green beans are of course number one on the list. I don't snap all these myself. My kids help me do all of them. We make it a fun family event. I let the kids pick a movie and we snap away. Well, usually I can them, so the kids get a head start on me, and once they have about enough for 7 jars, I start to pressure can them, and the kids will be snapping and watching their show. It is the perfect arrangement, and there are pretty much 0 complaints. This summer, the kids decided to watch all of the Rocky movies during green bean snapping season. Now, in these scenes, I am pressure canning, but if you want to learn how to water bath can, I do have a course on that in my Patreon. I'll link to it below for you. This really is a harvest kitchen, and it is bustling this time of year. On this particular day, not only do I have the green beans going, I also have some bread over here in the KitchenAid, and I am making a huge batch of wonderful feta cheese because our goat is in milk and we have extra to use up. I love making feta cheese. I have 2 different variations that I like to do, both of them with garlic, one with red pepper and one with dill. I think I'll save those for the next harvest video though. Every year, right about this time, my heart aches a little. I watch my children soaking up the last bits of summer's end, faces warm from the sun, laughter echoing through the trees, and I can't help but feel a bittersweet tug. This moment right here, the way they are today, it will never come again. Some of my kids are grown now, and there's a real possibility that soon a few might decide to fly the coop. I know this is the way it should be. We raise them to spread their wings, to grow strong, to live out the purpose God has for them. But knowing that doesn't make letting go any easier. So as the seasons shift from summer into fall, I'm determined to savor every drop of this golden season. For me, that means slowing down just enough to enjoy the harvest, enjoy the kids, to celebrate what we've grown in the garden, in our family, and in life. The shifting seasons always bring to mind Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything, there is a season and a time for every matter or purpose under heaven. There's a time for planting and a time for harvesting, a time for late summer parties, and a time for quiet fall evenings, a time for children to be little, and a time for them to grow up and fly. As the season begins to fade, I'm holding on to these golden days because I've learned that these days are like a vapor. And if you don't make time to enjoy every drop, every bite, and every moment, you'll miss out. The harvest is here, not just in the garden, but in life. And you must choose to savor it right where you are. Right now, my time is here, lingering in these last warm days on this mountain I call home, watching the kids play in the hammocks, listening to the sounds of the woods while my kids make one more round of late summer memories. My time is gathering my family under our new glowing tent, eating fresh food from the garden and laughing late into the night. My time is enjoying the harvest that I've worked all of these years for. If you're looking for ways to savor the last days of summer, why not create your own outdoor gathering space? Even a small setup with twinkle lights, a tent, or just a cozy corner of your yard can bring your family together for laughter, stories, and late summer memories. Try a few of these ideas. Host your own gathering. Make this season one to remember. Oh, and by the way, would you leave a comment and tell us your favorite ways to enjoy the last golden drops of summer? I would love to hear them.
I was there.